final thing that I just wanted to mention while I think about it is what font is being used on this website. Do you guys recognize the font that's going on here? Yeah, this comes from a family of fonts called sans serif fonts, which means it doesn't have the little curly bits like Times New Roman has. And that's because these fonts are easiest to read on the computer screen. And indeed, Microsoft invented a font specifically for the computer screen. And that font is called Verdana. So Verdana, Arial, there are Tahoma, there are a whole family of sans serif fonts that you might want to use, but sans serif is generally easiest to read, as in when we're looking at your websites. Okay, so we can see these kind of options going on in terms of navigation, rules of 3, rules of 7, use of color, looking where logos are. And I have one more rule for you, and this is my last rule. And that rule is, all rules are made to be broken. The point is, you can break these rules, provided you do it knowingly. Does that make sense? That you're deliberately going to do something different, and you're going to do something different for a reason. Does that make sense? For some of us, it may be easier to stick to the rules because it's going to make it easier for people to use your website. If you don't know a lot about web design, there's an excellent book I would recommend to you. And the book is called Don't Make Me Think. It's written by a guy called Steve Krug, K-R-U-G. And his principle is when somebody comes to your website, they don't want to have to guess what you do. They don't want to have to guess where stuff is. Don't make me think, just make it easy for me. I want to get in, I want to buy your widgets, I want to get out. Does that make sense? And by following design conventions, you will make it easier for people to get in touch with you. It'll make it easier for people to find your products and find your services. So I've used this one as a particular example, and then I decided what would be interesting is if we took a little quick look at another website. Oh, my mouse isn't working, you guys. Okay, Raxcrest, where are you? I know you're here. Who's right? Good morning. I thought we would take a little look at some of your websites. Do you promise not to cry? Great. Well, I thought, again, we would take a little look at some of the suggestions that we took a little look at. We can see that here we have the Raxcrest site. Now, the first thing I would say is this is using a very interesting color palette, and in particular, the color blue is a very trustworthy color, quite corporate color in the world. What's another really trustworthy color, would you guess? Purple. Royal, or, Queen, the Queen, all that. So as we're looking at colors, we can see different things kind of coming on. But as we look at this site, can you see that we are going straight into talking about what you do rather than what I need if I'm going to be buying products from you? So it's interesting as we take a little look at this, that can you guys actually guess what he does? Yet. Engineering, geeky boy things. Yeah. So, my advice to you, and this is a very easy one, is do you see where we have a sentence here that says, welcome to Raxcrest at the top of the page? I don't want to see the word welcome on any of your websites. I'm here already. What should that headline actually say? It should say what he does. Does that make sense? Or the service he provides. I want you to all pick up your pencils right now. And I want you, and you've got 1 minute, I would like you in 1 minute to write down in 25 words or less, what do you do? Ready, steady, go. 25 words, 1 minute. I reckon you got 7 seconds. So what I'd like you to think about is you need to have a 25-word sentence that says what you do. You're going to use this in your internet marketing quite a lot. We provide internet marketing consultancy and training for small businesses in the UK to help them build market share, full stop. You need to be able to kind of wheel this statement out because this is what you tell people what you do. And I think that you should put that statement as the first paragraph on your website. Cut straight to the chase and tell me what you do. And likewise, that headline, rather than saying welcome, should say the UK's leading provider of specialist valves for the waste disposal industry. You know what I mean, though, don't you? Okay? So, do all of your home pages tell me what you do? Now, the second thing I wanted to say about this is I find your navigation, I'm of a certain age, and I find your navigation a little bit teeny tiny. You see what I mean? And can you see that there's a navigation there that says architects? And what I wanted to show you guys is when you get down into the architects, there is a section here that says case studies. This business is providing their valves to places like Chicago Midway Airport. Is that Chicago? The University of California. Are these your valves? Yep. This is the University of California. Did you get the impression from his homepage that these valves are being used at organizations of this caliber? This is called the British disease. And this is where you keep your light under your bushel. And this is a kind of trust signals you could have given me as soon as I come to your homepage. You should say, we work at the British Library. You know, we involve our valves at Universal Studios. Do you see the list? The caliber going on. How did I have to find this list? I went, and did you make me work hard to find this? Yes, you did. You made me go in and try and find it. Okay, so the second thing would be is, on your homepage, you should all have what I would call trust signals. This is the first impression I get from you. And it may be that these trust signals, for some of us, might be who your clients are. Do you guys trust other people's clients? Yes. What else do we really trust, all of us? Testimonials, don't we? Do you trust testimonials coming from other organizations? Hugely, hugely trustworthy. And the other thing that gives trust signals are going to be accreditations. I'm a member of the Chartered Institute of Information Scientists. Do you care? No. But does it sound important? Yes. So there will be, so are any of you ISO 9000 anything? Are any of you Chartered Institute of such and such? Are any of you members of the Institute of, are any of you, do these signals belong on your homepage? Yes. Because this lets me know right off the bat that if you are a member, are you guys a member of anything? Chartered. Yeah, it will be. Does that make sense? And if I am an environmental engineer, will I recognize the symbols he's putting on his site? Yes, I will. And does that make me think I should be working with this company? Yes, I should. Okay? So that's one thing to take a look at. So for your checklist, adding a headline that tells me what you do. Adding a 25-word sentence that tells me what you do. Adding trust signals to your homepage that reassures me right away that you are the kind of quality company that I want to be working with. Good, and I thought I would also take another little looky look at, and the other, well, just another one, ready? Severn Valley Fasteners Limited, where are you? I know you're here. Good. Okay, here we go, Severn Valley Fasteners. So if we think about it, what's kind of go, oh, that's where we were not actually coming to the home page. Oh, there we go, there's home there. Good. So can you see that there isn't a whole lot of content here? Who buys your fasteners?
Manufacturing industry.
Does my husband need it if he's going to fix the kids' basketball net to the garage?
He wouldn't buy off us.
He wouldn't buy off. Does this make sense? So if his target market are big sheds or big, you know what I mean, we need to make it really clear that they've definitely come to the right place. And what this is also missing, I think, on this one, so this one's actually missing a description of who am I your target market? Do you want to order for 79 pence worth of washers and a, no, you don't. And what we also want to think about, this side is missing a call to action. Do you remember when we went back to the green energy, there was the big button that said, get your green energy assessment now. What are the classic calls to action for most of our businesses? What might they be? Telephone me. So having your phone number, where does a phone number classically belong on a website, on this homepage? Where would the phone number, where would you guys expect the phone number maybe to be?
Top right.
Top right. So that top right is often reserved for that phone number kind of call to action. Do we have any, we have e-commerce sites here too, don't we? What else goes in that top right-hand corner? Shopping signals. So if you can order online, I would expect to see the basket, the shopping signals up in that top right-hand corner as well. And that could also, do any of you take credit card payment? These are the kind of place where you might put the Visa, MasterCard logo signs. Another visual clue to me that I can order online from you, or that you take this kind of payment. So I think this one we need to think about who your target market is. To whom are you speaking, and what is the call to action that you want me to be thinking about? Okay, so there are lots of different things kind of going on here as we look at these various sites. And then just to finish off, I thought it would be useful just to show you Mercia Marine. Where are you, Mercia Marine? Good morning.
Really?
I think this is a really nice website. This has been really well done. So if you start to, it doesn't mean it has to be kind of fluffy design, airy-fairy. It can still be quite a factual business website. Is this kind of, no disrespect, verging on a little bit boring, isn't it? Does that boring look trustworthy? Yes. Does that make, so I'm not suggesting you need to go all arty-arty. We have very clear trust signals. Do you see? Authorized and regulated by the FSA. So it's giving me the trust signals to say we are accredited. Navigation's where I expect them. Bullet points. The only thing I would suggest is what rule is his bullet points breaking? The rule of sevens. You're giving me too many benefits. I get bored. You lost me. So you might want to cut that down. What would also make this copy here a little bit easier to read?
More space.
Maybe more space. But also the use of bold on the important words. Does that make sense? So you know where you've got free boat insurance quote. Does that make sense? Putting the important words into bold will pull my eye through the content so I can see the points that you're trying to make for me. Nice use of color, nice call to action, Monday to Friday, here's my phone number. Notice again the rule of threes goes on. And we talked about the rule of threes earlier. Here's where it's working again. And we have navigation, primary content, and then additional stuff going on the right. So, creating a good web design does not have to be expensive. One of the things that we were discussing when I came in this morning is there are indeed free tools that you can use if any of you want to experiment with building a website. And our company website is built using a free piece of software called WordPress. And WordPress is a software package that lets you build websites. However, just because I put a pencil in your hand does not mean you are going to write poetry, trust me. So just because you're able to use these free tools does not mean you are going to be building a good website. Does that make sense?